Don't even lie.
You sit right next to me and see you dancing.
You were too locked in on the screen. I was moving. I just I wanted you just wanted to like immerse yourself in that experience. It was so good. So
Yeah.
yeah, that with that being said, other films we checked out. Until Dawn, I wanted to bring that up
Mm.
because I think that I heard negative
Yeah.
reactions to it.
Yep.
And you saw it first and said, I don't think you're going to have the same reaction as what you're hearing as much, right? And
Yeah.
and I went in and kind of low expectations, and I said nothing's really going to surprise me here. If it's
Hmm.
trash, then it's trash. I kind of liked it. It was a
Oh no,
popcorn
yeah.
movie, right?
Yeah.
It was a teen popcorn movie. It kept me entertained. I actually took two individuals that I was working with to go see it.
Hmm.
They loved the hell out of it, which made it an even better experience. They were like, "Oh my god!" Like they were scared. For people who haven't don't know, like Brandon and I work with people with disabilities, so like
Hmm.
just their enjoyment of it was actually adding to the experience. But I was like, wow, this is a lot of fun. And I don't hate this. I,
Yeah.
I don't get why people hate it. Cause like,
I
what
get
was I
why.
supposed to be expecting?
I get why. Because people wanted it to be so close to the game. They wanted it to be the game. But, if you're a big fan of the Until Dawn, it's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And so, the game itself is just like so great because it's a film and a game, you know what I mean? And then,
Yeah.
so I think people probably wanted that and then they just went so far off. And I
Sure.
think, and that's the thing, we talked about it so many times. Um, you're never going to satisfy anyone that's coming out of playing a game because, even Resident Evil hasn't been able to capture that. We'll see if they'll be able to do that because, like I said, the creator of Barbarian is going to be doing the next Resident
Sure.
Evil. But you just and if you're a listener, also we've been doing like recaps of episodes of The Last of Us, and so myself and Dave we've been talking about it. I'm a gamer. I played the game. Dave hasn't. So just seeing everything kind of play out from my end, knowing what's happening, and then Dave not knowing what's happening, it's definitely different because he's taken in a lot of stuff, and I'm just like, well, that wasn't in the game, and he's just
Yeah.
like,
You're
oh,
constantly
okay.
comparing. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard because and it's like at the same time I enjoy both, but you're just gonna have people that's not gonna enjoy like the outcome of what's on the screen, you know. So,
Absolutely. And so, I mean, for me, that was a 3.5.
oh yeah.
I think I gave it a 3 or a 3.5. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Hmm.
But no matter what, it fell in that range. And for me,
Yeah.
that's fine. For an Until Dawn, a movie that like it wasn't my most anticipated film of the year by any
Oh, not at
means.
all.
It kind of came out. I thought the preview looked horrible. I'm not gonna lie.
It did. It
Yeah.
did.
So when I saw the preview, I was like, I don't really care to see that. The
Mm,
only reason why I actually rushed to go see it was because you left there saying something positive about it. So I was like,
yeah.
all right, let me get there before it's out of theaters because that's always my big fear. If I don't do it
Hmm.
right away, I don't do it. And yeah, I was pleased.
And I
And
knew that was like one of the only games that you played, you know what I mean?
yeah, that's
So
true
I'm like
actually.
all right, I think he'll like it. But it mixed that 2000 era of horror, you know what I mean? And so, I think that let's give it time, and I think people will enjoy it. I think
Mm.
because I think it will be definitely one of those films that
Ooh,
come up.
it will be like 13 Ghosts.
Oh yeah, that's crazy. It will definitely be that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It'll be in that category. Um, but yeah, we listen and we hear everything in the community of what people think about it. I heard some positives, I heard negatives, but kind of it's hard. You
Yeah.
can't satisfy everybody.
I do
But
like how connected you and I are to uh reviews people give
yeah,
because like when we
yeah,
see reviews we're just like all right like sometimes
yeah.
we sit back and we're like all right well I kind of know how that person
Yeah.
views movies and I kind of
Yep.
know what to expect from them already. Not
Hmm.
everybody, but sometimes we kind of already know that like all right they typically don't fall where I fall on
Hmm.
how they view movies, so that's fine. But yeah, I do enjoy seeing people's opinions at
And
times.
that was funny because I was gonna bring that up. The same thing I was sitting there, like running that through my head, because the next film that we're getting ready to talk about just released. and it was straight up crazy. You haven't been able to see it yet, but it was Final Destination
Right.
Bloodlines.
Right.
And so there's so many mixed reviews on that. I had a great time at the theater. I was able to check it out on IMAX. Me and my daughter had gone. It holds up to the franchise, but they just did something a little different. And so, I had told you I enjoyed it. And then, I said, okay, well, let me see. How can I place this? And I brought up someone's review, and then I put up to another one because you look at the two things where it's like our buddy Doug that was on the show before, he absolutely enjoyed it. You know what I
That
mean?
shocks me.
Yes. So shout out to Doug. Um,
Because
and that's the
he's
thing.
hated a lot of movies that we liked.
Yeah. And but
Yeah.
we have a mixture. Me and Doug have a love for, Friday the 13th, Jason Takes Manhattan. So I trust, there's like little